We at Titan Tar Channel have an incredible surprise for you today about Russian soldiers honing skills to face Abrams tanks in Ukraine. Don't miss the chance to join us, subscribe, like and share. In September, an intriguing set of information surfaced on Russian social media, revealing that the Russians were promoting the dissemination of detailed strategies aimed at exploiting possible vulnerabilities in U.S.-made Abrams tanks. These strategies included specific instructions on the most effective points of impact on tanks and what weapons to use to attack them, such as anti-tank guided missiles. This development came shortly after the presence of M1A1 Abrams tanks in Ukraine was confirmed, suggesting that they would likely be employed in Ukrainian counteroffensive operations. In early January 2023, the United States government announced its plans to deliver a total of 31 M1A1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, with the first 10 being delivered to the country in September. In response, Russia expressed concerns and reservations, insinuating that, if the transfer of M1 Abrams tanks to Kyiv were carried out, they could be treated in a manner analogous to other NATO military equipment, thus implying a potential risk of becoming targets. In combat situations, during an interview in January, a retired Russian colonel provided valuable information. In this dialogue, he addressed the perceived vulnerabilities in Abrams tanks, based on his experiences in past combats, mentioning cases in which these war machines were destroyed in clashes with Soviet T-72 tanks and the use of anti-tank grenade launchers. He also highlighted a possible vulnerability in later modifications of the North American tanks, an exposed power plant located at the rear of the turret, susceptible to 12.7 mm machine gun fire. The colonel noted that Abrams tanks faced significant challenges when facing newer models of Russian tanks, especially in long-range engagements involving anti-tank missiles. However, he recognized that the overall effectiveness of the Abrams depended on several factors, such as crew training and operational circumstances. Following these warnings, it became apparent that guidelines for countering Abrams tanks had recently been shared on Russian social media. In October, the commander of one of Russia's tank battalions made a shocking statement, stating that Russian tankers are fully prepared to hunt down American Abrams tanks in Ukraine. I can assure you that as soon as this equipment from abroad enters our territory or any other area of the Special Operations Zone, if it is the new tanks, all our tankers will be keeping an eye on them. You can't imagine how prepared our tankers are. They are. This is only understood by those who operate the Leopards and the Bradleys. In other words, we are looking forward to the confrontation, he emphasized. According to the commander, his battalion's tankers are anxiously awaiting the arrival of the first American M1 Abrams tanks. They are just waiting for the authorization. As soon as they receive the order, they will be ready to move. We are not sure if these tanks will come equipped with anti-tank systems. Therefore, they want to be the first to find them, he added. The Russian guidelines highlighted several crucial tactics for countering the Abrams tanks. One such tactic involves targeting the tank's guidance systems and its main gun. Attackers were advised to use small-caliber weapons or machine guns to destabilize the tank's targeting mechanisms, potentially decreasing its accuracy. When it came to facing the tank head-on, the guidelines recommended concentrating fire on the area between the tank's hull and the turret, located just below the gun. This region was considered less protected compared to other parts of the tower. For frontal attacks, the guidelines suggested the use of anti-tank guided missiles, which had already demonstrated effectiveness in destroying a UK-supplied Challenger 2 tank in Ukraine. However, the guidelines advised against targeting the lower front part of the tank, as this area was well protected. Another strategy involved targeting the fuel tank located in the front section of the M1A1 Abrams, located on both sides of the driver's compartment, with the intention of igniting the fuel and causing a possible engine fire, followed by an explosion. However, it is worth noting that the M1A1 Abrams is equipped with a fire extinguisher system for the engine compartment. When it came to side attacks, the guidelines recommended avoiding the heavily armored turret and instead targeting the less protected sides of the hull. It was noted that this side armor could be penetrated even by older grenades fired from grenade launchers. In rear attack situations, the author of the guidelines suggested targeting the engine compartment or the isolated ammunition rack located at the rear of the turret. Disabling the ammunition stock was considered an effective method of rendering the tank inoperable. The author pointed out that a tank won't have much firepower without ammunition. The guidelines also offered strategies for ambushing columns of M1A1 Abrams tanks, including using drones to target vulnerable points on the turret roof and placing anti-tank mines to obstruct the advance of the armored columns. Additionally, the guidelines recommended the formation of specialized teams, usually consisting of a machine gunner and a sniper, to deal with infantry accompanying an enemy tank. The machine gunner would provide suppressive fire, while the sniper would focus on attacking crew members who were exposed. The guidelines also emphasized the importance of carefully selecting locations for ambushes in order to block escape routes for armored columns. In urban environments, it was suggested to deploy several teams at different levels, including basements and upper floors of buildings, in order to coordinate actions and fire grenade launchers from different directions. However, it is essential to recognize that while these guidelines and strategies have provided information on potential vulnerabilities of M1 Abrams tanks, the overall effectiveness of these vehicles depends on a number of factors, including crew training and operational conditions. It is equally important to note that Russian sources do not always give a complete picture of the situation. For example, even if an Abrams tank is destroyed, its crew is likely to survive due to safety measures such as blast panels, unlike Russian tanks. Furthermore, images of destroyed Abrams tanks do not always indicate that many of them are export variants devoid of depleted uranium, a notable distinction from American Abrams tanks. An incident in 2004 illustrated the tank's resilience, with one crew surviving several grenade launcher hits. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Your interactions mean a lot to us and help us grow. To the next.